Hello, hello. Hello, everybody. How y'all doing? Hello. Welcome to the stream. How you doing? Mayrazel, can you just put the name of the track that plays in the background? That's a good idea. I gotta figure out how to do that, though. There is a way to do that. We gotta link up things to Spotify. Or not, I don't know. Actually, I don't know how you do that. Gotta figure that out. There is a way to do it. There is something we can do. How you doing, everybody? There is a way. I did at one point wanted to start doing like a 24-hour like music stream, you know, just like essentially like a radio. And I looked into that and I figured out a way to do it. But yeah, it's been years, so obviously that radio didn't eventuate. So you know this, Rogue? You get 2 guesses. It is? Yes, correct, Rogue. Not so much. Not one of the first ones. Smasky, thank you so much. Mix different music on the streams, good number of here. Yeah, it's always nice. That's why I stream, so everyone can compliment me, yeah. I do need a bit of a pick-me-up today, guys. I am a bit stressed out today. I'm feeling a little bit stressed about just work and things going on. So hoping today that will you can write some music that will sort of, I don't know, get me in a better headspace. We need to just calm down a bit, I think. That's what we need to do. And of course what you do when you're stressed out is you stream. You know, that's what you do. That's great, Smasky. Thank you. You're doing the right thing. A plugin called Tuner saves the current VLC track title and artist to text file. Showbiz can read and stream. Okay. Tuner. I will check that out. Problem at the moment is I've been using Streamlabs for many moons. Mostly because it was like when I started streaming years ago, it was kind of just easy to set up. I didn't want to have to think too hard, but I'll probably need to look at like just doing it using OBS outright, because there's a lot of cool plugins that are available. So you're close. Broke. It's that this track is Chasing Daylight. But you did well. One of the more popular tracks on Spotify. People like the chill piano vibes. Making some harder stuff, Superman? What do you mean? Because I've got all sorts of stuff in my library. I write all sorts of vibes. Big epic orchestral. It's a Stream Deck XL is a great piece of hardware. Bought it for your friend as a gift. Okay. I've considered getting one of those. I've got the weird hotkey set up on my keyboard to change between scenes, because it's not a very complex stream. Let's just put it that way. But it's also like it's scroll lock and pause, and it does also trigger things in Cakewalk that I probably should assign to another key or something. Sato with OBS having trouble figuring it out. Switch to Streamline OBS. which worked for a while. Something broke and went back to using OBS and stuck with it ever since. Okay. Fair enough. I've never really had an impetus to change. Streamlabs has been pretty fine, I guess. As I said, we don't run a very technical stream. Yeah, Chasing Daylight and it does sound similar to other tracks, I think. I agree. I do sound similar to myself in many points. Some would say that's a signature sound, you know? Yeah, techno industrial? Nah, I couldn't do that. That's just not me, Superman. I just can't do it. I've done a little bit of like synthwave. That's as far as I get, I think. It's not my kind of thing. I am a cinematic dude. That is me. If you want to find techno music, I think there's better producers out there. Industrial stuff. I mean, I try my best. Like there's some tracks on the Menace soundtrack that I had to get a little bit more industrial for, particularly for one of the factions. But it's not really my wheelhouse. And not that I'm really also interested. I don't know, just not something I listen to either. So it's hard for me to want to make it if I don't listen to it. I listen to if I do listen to stuff, it's either other soundtracks or sort of classical music, like neoclassical piano stuff and weird, you know, soundscapes and like experimental stuff. If I listen at all. It's my problem at the moment, is I don't listen that much these days. Thank you, Enderblade. It's also because I use the same stuff as well, same patches all the time, because I'm an old man stuck in my ways. Have faith in me. Thank you, Superman. But sometimes you just got to acknowledge that some things are not something you can do very well, at least. I have done there's a couple of tracks in the library that have more of a Matrix kind of vibe. So years ago I was trying to do like I don't know, like a concept album, I guess. And I was really into the Matrix scores at that point. And there was a lot of collaborations between, was it Juno Reactor and Don Davis on some of those scores. So there's some cool moments where it just goes really hard, you know. Full orchestra plus, you know, sort of driving synth and four on the floor beats, and it's pretty cool. I can imagine that's gonna make a comeback. The 90s is back now, guys, right? That's what I hear. Or maybe that's done now. I don't know. Now running Python scripts to build an app to manage OBS. Wow, okay. Hardcore, Smasky. Ever since you got Opus, that's all I've been using. It's fun. Yeah, it's great. Opus is really good. Still using their brass. I still can't beat it. I mean, I am dabbling with the performance samples. Pacific Brass a bit more these days, but it's still really good. Those Hollywood brass is pretty good. It's hard to change something that's just working, you know. And you don't need, you know, crazy tools to do some cool music, you know. Yeah, today we're just gonna try and kind of chill. We're gonna just try and chill. Write something that's a bit, you know, maybe ambient, maybe uplifting, maybe, you know, Just what I normally do, really. We'll see where it goes. It's also starting a track, so that's always fun on stream. It's always a little bit of a trial. I want to try playing around with some synths though today. So we'll start off with that maybe and start building a little bit of a soundscape up, and then seeing where it goes from there. You watched a group of people buying CDs, stacks of CDs today. Nice, now electronics are here. Nice, CDs are back. I know vinyls had a huge resurgence. But it's interesting to see CDs are back too. Very interesting. We will use a bit of an uplift, yeah. Right. Strange times we live in at the moment. Someone used my music in a very Doom mod, a very good Doom mod called Butcher's Summit. Have you ever tried it? No. Butcher's Summit. Go check it out. Summit Doom. Incredible grimdark Doom total conversion. Wow.
Soldier of justice, the mighty warrior who saves.
This looks great. Very scary. What a cool... What a great job. So you say my music is in here. That's pretty cool. Somewhere. Wow, it's really cool. Very, very cool. Boom, 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 boom. Do you like Gary Newman stuff? I actually don't know if I've listened to Gary Newman, to be honest. So I don't know. Maybe I do. Maybe I do. What's the play Cruel? What's Cruel? Is that another boomer shooter? That's the thing right now, isn't it? The mod is how you found me? Wow, that's cool. Very cool. It's a Doom-like game, yeah, fair enough. I played a lot of that, it was like the like Warhammer 40k boomer shooter. Where you're running around as like a space marine. I forget what it's called now. But I played a lot of that. It's really good. Oh, you stick Coherence. Okay, cool. Great choice. Very moody, that one. Okay, what are we doing? So I'll turn this off. And then we'll set this up, I guess. So we need to do some stuff though. We need to route things in a way that is, wow, this template is very old. We need to update this template. It's like my moody chamber strings template, but it's like using very old instances of stuff. Very old. Okay. Oh, bear with me, guys. I have to set up some stuff because I forgot that this is how my computer works these days. I got to set up the routing. The loop back source 3 to 4. This is Door input, properties. Yep. And then this goes to 3 and 4. Then you send to another bus. Send to another bus. And then I put my stuff on here so that it fixes the sound playback for my room. Corrects all the weird frequencies in here. But you don't get it. Because that will make it sound really weird for you guys. So I think that works. If I get the piano. Piano! Hey, Jay. Rise of the Tribe was also very cool. Yep. Played that a lot too. A lot of those games felt really scary. I think it was the way that they rendered the space, because a lot of it was like the shadow, like the further away stuff was, the darker it was, and so everything just felt like you were in a dungeon. Everything was like a dungeon. Everything felt dark and it's kind of spooky. Something about it, like it really made everything feel super, I don't know, scary and atmospheric. Whether that was their intention, I'm sure it was their intention, but yeah, pretty crazy. So I think that's set up. Do I need anything else on here? Let's set the glue. We'll turn that up a bit. Well, let's get rid of this. This will change to spaces 2. No, it's in here. We need to fix where all these plugins are coming in. All right. Strings. So what crazy stuff has happened to you guys this week? What weird stuff? I've been reading. So I think I said this last time, but I've been reading Lord of the Rings. So for the first time, because I felt like watching the movies, and I decided, well, maybe it's time that I actually read the source material. Because I've never gotten around to it, and I am loving it, guys. I'm reading Fellowship of the Ring, which is usually a bit of a, bit of a drag movie. It's a bit for me anyway. I think for most people, to be honest. But I'm finding it so much better. Like the book is just like, there's so much more stuff in it, right? Like I get why the movies had to cut a lot of stuff, because it's a movie. It's only so many hours people will sit there and watch something. But it's so much more stuff. Where in the book am I? So we have just left Rivendell, and so they're heading. Oh no, they're at the gates of Moria. That's where they are right now. They were at the gates of Moria. But there's like so much more detail, and sort of feels like already they've gone through a journey. Like it always felt very quick getting to Rivendell. Like there was like, you had this sort of chase scene and everything happening, sure, where the wraiths are chasing Frodo, and they're trying to get to Rivendell before he carks it because he got stabbed. stabbed with a Morgul blade. But uh, but there's also this like slowness to it where you sort of just feel like so isolated in the wilderness, like, and they're spending weeks just traversing this horrible terrain, you know like, because there's so much more like um it feels more of a labor, and I love it. Like, I love how much Tolkien can like just uses descriptions of the landscape they're moving through. Like, there's so much effort put into just describing how they're navigating the landscape, and I love it. I love it so much. It feels like you're there with them. Like, particularly for me, I have this very um, visual sort of brain when I'm reading books. Everything's very, uh, it's very, vivid. And so I feel like I'm there. It's great. I love it so much. Do you familiar with Carter Burwell? Yeah, I love his work. Carter is he got such a unique voice, I think. There's not too many people who sound like Carter, I think. Very cool. Very good work. I think I came across his work first for there's a movie called Being John Malkovich. There's some really cool scenes in that. I think that was the first time I came across. Did he do The Fountain? Was that him? Got a feeling it was that. Anyway, yes, Lord of the Rings, man. It's really cool. So yeah, Moria shall be an interesting dive. Or delve, maybe. Is that the best way to put it? Now, I want to have some sort of absinthe that sort of comes in very high and sort of sparkly. So I got this sort of idea in my head. It comes out of nothing. I want it to be very ethereal though, but also kind of bright. I don't know. Let's have a play. Let's have a play. I want to put soft clouds. That's a nice ethereal patch. I need to use something that's not my usual patches that I always choose. Now, bear with me, guys, because I'm going to be experimenting a little bit here. We'll see where this goes. Oh, that was Clint Mansell, yeah. Thank you. Wow. Why am I not hearing this? I think it's working. It's just a very boomy patch, I think. Just checking out the routing right. I think something's going a bit... Whoa, what's going on? Stop. Just a moment, guys. Okay. Alright. Some weird framey business going on there. That was a bit weird. Let's actually save this before we get too lost in the weeds here. Stream song. Feb 24. Oh, actually, I didn't mean to do that. Whoops. Stream song, Feb 24. Oh, yeah. I turned it off because of last week. We had a game stream. We didn't need to to look at my keyboard for that. Where is it? Just a moment. Yeah. Camera not working. I think there's also a background for that. Wait a sec. Where is that? Thank you so much, mate. Might take a while to get to 1 million though, but that's all right. No, is that it? Sort of it. Must have moved the camera. How are we though? There we go. Yay! Is that all right? Not too many gremlins. That's me forgetting that I turned things off and need to turn back on again because I played a game last week. I didn't do music, so we did weird things. Actually, I might want to have a little bit of a tempo delay as well, so I have it sort of repeating a little bit. Maybe one of these reads is cool. I don't know. Ooh. Thanks, Jay. Why is it latching? Hold. Don't need to hold. All right. Have I mounted things properly here? We gotta put you. No, that's fine. You go through the master. Okay. Okay. Let's move it down here a bit. Love Kegel, the door update. The theme's great. It reminds me very much of old Sonar, which is perfect. Feeling a bit nostalgic, you know, just load it up. Okay. We'll try a 6/4. Metronome, where art thou? Oh, you guys won't hear that, so that's good. I like these kind of really like low length, note length sort of sounds there. They're really interesting. I'm gonna try adding a gain to 12 dB, something like that. Drop this down. So few of us that remember Cakewalk in its heyday. Yes, that everyone knows. Probably, I've been using this. I use Cakewalk in its various forms for like over 25 years now. So I was back in the. I think I started with Pro Audio 5. Yeah, let's lay this down. No metronome. It's actually 6/8, I think. Let's boost this up a bit so I can hear it. That is a really loud metronome. Let's just turn that down. Just about a fraction. Can we... How do we shuffle these along? 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Infinity, that's awesome. And it is cool. Power of the internet. That we can have real-time chats. Arrived now. Welcome, Manuel. FMAP patch is a preset. It is a preset, but I've started playing around with an ARP. So it's like a... I think it's like a reed. One of the reed presets. Reed instrument. But then I'm just playing around with the ARP, adding a bunch of delays and stuff to sort of space it out a bit. Logic Pro is dead right now. What's happened with Logic? So I've seen a bunch of people jumping ship. What happened? I mean, I never really liked Logic. I used it many years ago when I was working in LA, and it was I just didn't. it was so very different to Cakewalk because that's where I started out and where I'd been working for so long. It was very different in the way it operated, and it was really hard to get as productive as I was um, using Logic. It was a bit of a strange yeah, strange sort of setup. But that was years ago. It's probably changed quite a bit since then. But then again, maybe not. It's hard to know. I mean, Cakewalk really hasn't changed that much. Note length. Not any perpetual, only subscription. Okay. Folks don't like that, I guess. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah. Okay. I'm not such a huge like. I'm kind of okay with subscriptions, to be honest. I don't know if it helps them stay more viable. Maybe I'm fine. Like, I'm a little worried about what's happening with Native Instruments these days. I have a lot of my sound is kind of locked up in using a lot of Native Instruments libraries and synths, and I'm a little worried that at some point we won't be able to use them anymore. See how it goes, but yeah. Maybe if it helps them be more viable in the long term, subscriptions maybe it's better. I don't know. Logic is just full of sample instruments. You don't love it. Yeah, fair enough. No one, no Cubase. Yeah, I think if I had the jump ship from Cakewalk, Cubase would be where I'd land. Should debate me out of that subscription take, really? Yeah. I don't know. What's one more subscription? Hour of the Witch is really nice for you when you train. Yeah, really. A really different take from the rest you do. Yes, very much. Yeah, little bit of a fun Halloween thing. Defining one for you with cicadas. Yeah, I had a lot of fun with that one too. That was actually literally me going out into my in-laws' farm and recording a bunch of cicadas singing in the trees. It was really fun. Something I really want to do more of is more field recording. All right. What's some sort of like atmospheric opening here? So I don't know. I never used Apereo for these kinds of things, but let's see what I got. Find one of these pads. Oh, you guys can't hear this, can ya? Night, Brandon. Sleep well. Yeah. It's nice. Nice and something something. Um what software am I using? So this is Cakewalk. So this is the DAW that I'm using, Cakewalk Sonar, which is not very popular, but I love it. I've been using it for many, many years. And I use a lot of different samples. I think for the Hour of the Witch, there was a lot of my vocals actually. I think that one has like a lot of my breathing and there's lots of things in there. But the samples I think were a lot of like alternative solo string libraries that I've got, and it's weird. Oh, and a lot of maybe a lot of I've got like a little library of sounds that I recorded like would probably say 25 years ago or so. With an old bass that we found in like this is when I was doing my music degree, and we found an old bass, like sort of unloved double bass sitting in a cupboard, and we got it out and recorded it, and you know whacked the strings and did all these sort of weird sort of just sort of tonal sounds, and recorded it, and it's turned into a really good library of like useful sounds that are just really aggressive and weird, and like it's amazing how many times I've used it. Again, it's something I need to do more of, just like collect odd sounds. There are a lot of libraries out there that have those kind of things, but it's nothing better than having your own samples, and your own things that you've found and created. Got to do that so much more. I've thought about it, Enderblade, but I've used them so much in some very clutch things that it's kind of like, oh, maybe it's not a good thing to share because it's like my little secret sauce sometimes. But yeah, I have thought about it. Yeah. Yeah. Now the Witch gives you vibes of the video game. Which, yes, yeah, I think Witcher 3 was kind of my little reference for that. I think it was just after, because I did for London Music Works, I did a cover of the TV show, the Witcher TV show theme for one of their albums. And so I think that was kind of at the same time where I was having a lot of fun with that and wanted to explore it a bit more, and made a library track out of it. Atlantis, how you doing? I'm doing all right. I'm a bit stressed out today. Hoping this track will help me just kind of chill out today. I haven't checked out Absinthe 6 yet. I'd love to though. I use a lot of Absinthe 5. Some really cool stuff in that. So I would really want to check it out. But then I don't know. Ever since the Native Instruments news sort of broke, I'm kind of like, what do I do? What do I do? Is it worth it? I don't know. It probably is though. Probably get it now before it disappears. Probably what I should do. Wow, Contact 5, guys. What reverb I'm using? Mostly just using spaces too. So this is an east-west one. Um, yeah, it's just like a convolution reverb. That's fine. That's fine. I have been looking into some alternatives, like some of the more, I guess there are some like rather expensive reverbs out there that you can get. I'm trying to figure out if I'm in my game, my reverb game should upgrade, but I don't know. I just can't. I don't know what I should be doing. You got recommendations? What you guys use? Have I received some news from neighbors? No, I don't get any news from them. Have you guys heard anything? Cinematic Rooms or Seventh Heaven? I've heard about Seventh Heaven, yeah. Love the auto compose. Where do you really take special talent? I don't know if it does, to be honest. Couldn't do it because of a weird reason. I visualize music, see images in your head. I mean, I do that too. I don't necessarily hear what I'm playing already in my head. Like, it's not the sort of thing. I think the thing that makes it a little bit mysterious, I guess, is like because a lot of the way I write is it's very improvisational. So I'm kind of just kind of making stuff up. So I'm making stuff up. So it's like on the spot, I'm just kind of exploring sound and seeing where I'm going and making decisions in the moment. I think that's, I mean, a lot of people when they're working in the art space, whatever the medium they're working in, I think they often do that. Like they're sort of, there's not always a roadmap. So, and I think it just comes with practice. That's all it is. Talent is just people who practice a lot and are open to exploring things a little bit. That's all it is. So if you want to do it, I think you can definitely do it. You just need to just roll your sleeves up and have a bit of fun. I want to say if to my face how awesome the Menace music is. Thank you. Thank you so much. Loving the game at school. Yeah, I'm loving the game too. I mean, I've played a little bit of it in development, but I'm so deep. I didn't realize how much this game was how addictive this game was. I'm not that far in, but like all the time that I have for playing games has kind of been Menace. It's been Menace time. So I'm just starting to get into the rogue army part of the game, and they're kicking my butt. They're all whipping my butt. And so I have to sort of think about what to do now. Because I felt like I felt so OP. Like you got to the, you like absolutely mastering the pirate and alien parts. Like there's nothing can stop me. I'm a well-oiled machine, war machine. But then the rogue army come and it's like just start kicking your butt. And it's a bit hard to manage. You're sort of okay with subscription Smasky, like Photoshop really can't afford buying a single license. But if needed, it can probably swing a subscription. Yeah. I guess the problem that a lot of people have is that it adds up over time. So if you are going to use it for a very long time, it will add up to more than, say, buying it like outright. I think that's where maybe what people get hung up on. And also, I guess the idea that like the subscription's kind of like it is kind of like I mean, everything you buy is, a license to use it, and that can be taken away at any time. That's kind of like the nature of life these days, that nature of like software on PCs and whatnot. It's like even all the games you buy, it's still sort of contingent on the fact that it has to be available in a store. It's not all DRM free unless you buy it on GOG maybe, but yeah, I'm not I can see problems with subscriptions, but I'm not completely against it, yes. And you get updates too, theoretically. Like you get new stuff over time, so that kind of thing I like as well. Hope you get a percentage from the early access numbers. I think it's going to so well on release. No, I don't get anything. No. So you got that's why you have to listen to the soundtrack, you know, to support me, because that's all I'm gonna get on the back end. Is that Rupert Neve hardware? Yes, it is. I got an MBT, a Master Bus Transformer. It's actually my first bit of external kit. I don't really do much external stuff, but I've been using it as kind of like the final mix mastering stage for my tracks, and it's been good. Still learning how to use it. I think some tracks it works really well, some not so much. Rich composer. I just invest. I'm investing in things that might give me a little bit of an edge later on, but I've got to learn how to use it properly. Maybe this is the symptom of like getting to a certain age and not having kids. You can have a little bit extra cash to spend on weird audio equipment. Why not? Why not? Okay. Ooh. Just going to extend this into the future. Might add, so I do this sometimes. It's like a little, like weird effect in Guitar Rig that I like to add to the piano sometimes. Just adds a little bit of weird background stuff. I don't know if it's in 6 though. It's in 5. Guitar Rig 5. Gotta see if I can reconstruct it in 6. Fuzz. Reverse split. I think it's in there, but it sounds different. Sounds different to the one in Guitar Rig 5. And you get used to a certain sound, you know? Piano effects. Send to piano effects. A little bit, not everything. That was weird. Oh, okay. Also, probably should add a little bit of reverb. What do I want to do with this though? What do I want? Maybe. Oh, let's keep it. We'll keep it for now. I may change this piano actually. Feels a bit too warm. Dolby Atmos Composer? No, I haven't. Should check it out if you use Reaper Neve, yeah? Okay. I'll make a note. It's essentially to make Atmos mixes, I'm guessing. Because I know there's some platforms that are taking these days. Tidal does Atmos stuff. Does Spotify yet? I don't remember. How do you name songs? Is it images or movies you see when you're listening? General feeling? It's more feeling. I find it really hard to name songs. Really challenging. And it doesn't always come easy. So sometimes it's sort of, yeah, it takes some time to find a name. Oh, maybe I should try ensemble strings. I'll try whisper sustains. Filer Audio and they're very pro. Maybe Composer use them. Okay. Check it out. A thesaurus? Yeah, very good idea. Use one on many occasions. Yep. Also, there's like these interesting lists of really pretty English words. Just searching through those to find something that sounds about right. Sometimes it gets to that point. Oops, I just added it a few times. Maybe I should lengthen the time of these chords a little bit. Thank you, Faraday. Thank you. Have a good night. Just make it mood. Let's make it a mood. Just wanted to get the metronome down a little bit. Why does it not record on the unicorder? That's weird. Oh, maybe this. That's why. No? Whoa, what's going on there? I have been using Uni a lot, yes. I've also been using like some of the mastering sort of limiters that I use also have sort of LUF monitoring for me, so I've been tending to actually use them a bit more these days. So I use the FXG2 from Slate. FGX2. It's a good plugin. Mastering console. Okay. We got a bit of homework to do. Thank you, sir. Is perpetual license? Oh my god. Middle Mouse, how you going? Yeah, we're seeing where this is going today. That's really quiet. Oh. Vista Ensemble. And it says Whisper Springs. Okay. It's building a mood. More like rhythmic things to kind of help feel like we got the beat a bit. So I wonder, sometimes I use some little patches in FM8, sort of help give like sort of a rhythm without being too percussive. Copy this down. Wrong patch. and we can just kind of go like that. We might control the low pass a bit so that it sort of comes up and down rhythmically a little bit. Okay. Allow. I don't know why Twitch decided to block that message, but it's like, thank you. Don't know what about that message was bad. Weird. But thank you. Hmm. Da-da-da. So like there might be a little swell to a major chord. and bassy, that one. What I think we'll try. The Vista Strings bass is really good. The ensemble strings. Very clear. Let's give it a go. Thank you, guys. Thank you for hanging out with me whilst I'm bumbling through this opening. It's hard. It's always hard to start stuff on stream. It really is. A little bit stress. What would it cost for you to get an ambient war drum mix, making very Lord of the Rings orcish? Love your work. I guess it would depend, but it's like at the moment I'm blocked out with projects at the moment. Working on stuff. Yeah, there is some stuff on the library. That might work for you. Juggernaut and Legionnaire. But yeah, to make something custom for you probably wouldn't have enough time at the moment, I think. Unfortunately. Sorry, buddy. Just playing out an idea. Starting projects is the hard part for you, yeah. This one's coming fairly easy actually, so I guess that's good. Sometimes they don't, though. Just they're dragging out something that doesn't really want to be dragged out, which is probably a sign that you probably should just not do it. It's very rare that I do start something though that I don't finish. So it is something. Thank you, Elbia. Kiltech, thank you. Glad you enjoying the music. just go from there. The envelope is making it inaudible. Where are we going here? Don't worry, thank you. I'll save, thank you. Let's do that. Let's do that. I don't know what I'm doing there, but we'll figure it out. Baltimore, how you going? Hope you're well. Yeah, there's a lot of new releases lately, hey. A lot of stuff. Sorry for the inundation, folks. It's not my plan, but it's just happened. It just happened. I'm glad it's helping you, Lisa. See, it is actually calming me. I think that's been good. This has been good. How do I stream sound from the DAW? To record, how do you loop back audio interface? So I have an Audient ID44, and so it has a little panel here that allows you to do a bunch of things. But one is to set a loopback source. So there's a lot of various inputs and outputs, all sort of internal. And so what I do in Cakewalk is I have the output of the master set to the 3 and 4, which is the loopback for the audience. And so you guys hear what's coming out of the master very easily. But the one thing that got me trying to figure out how to make it work is I also use this plugin, which is the SoundOD reference software from Sonarworks, which is sort of helping to correct a little bit of the weirdness in my room in terms of standing waves and some resonances and things like that. So it is something that works for my room because it's the room that it's designed for, but it's not great for you guys to hear. So I was trying to figure out how to make that work, but I ended up just doing sort of having a send bus to a separate bus down here that's set to the 1 and 2, which is what I'm hearing. You don't hear that, I hear that, and so therefore I get to play back on the speakers with the corrected sound, and then you guys get the playback. And I don't know. You should tell me whether you can hear the mic. I don't think there's much feedback, so it's been pretty good. That I don't have to wear headphones whilst I'm working. So yeah, so it's worked out pretty well. But you can tell me if something sounds weird. Yeah, I have no idea. I actually don't go back and check the streams. I hate watching myself. So, I had the last ID. Yeah. I think that was a new thing that the new models came in, which is great. It's really useful for this kind of thing. Yes. This is just an NT2. The Rode NT2. Yeah. Nothing too crazy. Pretty inexpensive. Maple, hi. Hello. And Gobot, how you doing? Thank you. I'm glad you're liking it. The 88, the Kickstation 88, it's been really good. Can't complain. It's been, yeah, I've had it since it came back, so maybe coming up on 3 years now. Been great. It's been very good. I am Goat, yeah. I still use a lot of the brass, the Hollywood brass and percussion in my template. Been really hard to replace them, I've found, so that's been good. Yeah, I still use a lot of Spitfire, but I found that they're their workhorse libraries, for the orchestral stuff. I don't jive with them. I don't know, there's something about the sound that just doesn't quite work with me, so yeah. But I've got a lot of performance samples these days, so a lot of the strings now is performance samples. I'm really, Really looking forward to Vistas 2. Vista 2. Vista 2. Yeah, Tundra and Solstice are very good. Yeah. That's what Spitfire is great for those sort of tonal libraries. I use a lot of also the LCO strings, which is also Spitfire. So those sort of very characterful sort of strings. Use the 61, yeah, nice. Yeah, Vista 2 when? What? I much prefer, yeah, the Hollywood Orchestra legatos to the Spitfire ones. At least the ones that I've heard. Yeah, the Hollywood ones were great. Let's put it. Oh no, I didn't see that maple. Ooh, I gotta choke it out. I mean, you mean? Oh, sorry, you mean performance samples? The Pacific Persian Library. Yeah, I've got that one. I did get that one. I do find it a bit frustrating to use though. Doesn't I haven't quite figured out how to make it work in my template yet, but just take me more practice, I think. Yeah, performance specific is very good. I still blend it with the Vista strings. So I kind of have when I'm particularly in my big ensemble sort of like my full orchestra sort of sound, my sort of template. I blend specific strings with Vista, and it sort of has the sort of Pacific sounds like a bigger sound. Vista's a little bit smaller, so the two sort of have the big feeling plus a little bit of that sort of sing-songy close mic'd kind of string sound. I think it's a good blend. I really like that sound. Helps with I think making string lines a bit more realistic actually, because it has a bit of that sort of clarity with the Vista, but too much Vista, it's a little bit too small sounding. So it's good to have that body of the Pacific strings. Yeah, I've been tempted by LA Modern Percussion too. Sounds pretty good to me. Try Fluffy Auto Venice strings. It's better than chamber strings and Spitfire and very gentle, intimate melodies. Ah, okay. Whoa. Okay, I'll check it out. Thank you for the tip. There's so many libraries out there now. So much. It's hard to know what to invest in anymore. Okay. Oops. Chapters, thank you. I don't know where I'm going. I don't know what we're doing. Started out so well, now we're sort of losing. I need a bit of an idea about direction now, I think. Oh, the Beaufort brass. Oh, Will Roger uses it. That probably would be good. Hmm. Cool. Okay, I'll check that out. There's one strings. Fluffy's very cool scripts. You release the note and it fades smoothly. Incredibly beautiful and realistic. It's one thing I liked about there's the Bohemian violin. It had sort of the way that it performed felt much more musical. Like the releases and everything felt so much more. I felt very different to a lot of other libraries out there. I want some interesting things, you know, like you can really get some, particularly when you're playing a lot of it, like you can get some really interesting performances out of stuff that does unexpected things in a way that other libraries don't do it. And then it's really fun to explore. This opening section also needs a little almost melody or something, or a motif. Let's have a play. Yeah, if Will uses it, must be good, yeah. Will the man. Is that loading? No. There we go. There we go. Do like a bit of stray light for some moody synth tones. Don't know what to start with though. I'll try. can you share whether distribution on streaming platforms brings you any money? Yeah, it does. It does. It's to the point now where like it's actually a pretty decent like if that's all the money that I made, that would still be a pretty decent income. In terms of Australian wages. So yeah, it is doing well. It's starting to get a little bit of like an M83 vibe, which is I'm on board with. It's too high. Out of tune. Timing is not quite there, Yannick. This section definitely needs some work. Thank you, Oldemore. Didn't have good such. Remember years ago, didn't have such numbers, and then I see you releasing more interesting releases and albums. Yeah. No, it's sort of picking up speed these days. Interested to know about how you made them and how the collaboration went. Could teach me, otherwise, like something. So you mean like the Elder Scrolls albums, those kinds of things? Always go really well. It's an interesting arrangement where those ones where, like the work with Silver Screen, I don't get any of the back end, so there's no money from the actual streams themselves, but they do pay me a good lump sum up the beginning for those arrangements. So it's a fun arrangement. Like I really enjoy working with them. They're really nice, and really good times. In terms of like other projects like Menace, that's I guess that's all my album, so all my music, and I have full sort of control over that. So um, I was able to release the music, and I get all the money from the streams and whatnot. Um, and it's again all in collaboration, I guess. Like that's the score is very much, you know, creating something that works for the game. So you're working closely with the devs to try and figure out what their vibe is and their references and trying to come up with something that will work for the game. And there can be a lot of back and forth. With the pirate stuff, definitely had a lot of I guess a bit of back and forth to try and get it right, you know, because it is also the faction who you actually end up playing the most if you at the start of the game, and it was in the demo, and so things like that where you spend a lot of time getting it quite right. But yeah, it's collaborations like anything where, you know, if it's you're sort of working inside of the context of another project, you know, so you're kind of creating something that serves the project rather than serves yourself. A lot of the library stuff that I do is kind of just me making stuff up. So there's no real it's not in service to another project or like a greater idea, other than something, you know, creating something that I like and want to write. And luckily the library has been something that, you know, has also generated a steady income for us, and that's such a joy because I get to, it's so much freedom in writing for the library. Allows me to just explore and do things that I want to do, and that's very nice. I'm so glad you guys, you know, enjoy it. Is Silver Screen Decision what game music are you for the next project? Probably Silver Screen. Yeah, they're more in charge of what they're wanting, but they do have a sort of a like a number of different arrangers that they call on, and so they do like Rick, who's sort of in charge of this component of the business. That he's very mindful of who he gets to do the various projects, and so I don't really get to do much that I don't want to do, and I can easily say no, and there's no harm, no foul. But luckily he throws stuff my way that I actually want to do, so yeah. So write the music according to the technical specifications? Yes. Yeah. So essentially they give me a brief. They give me, well, ideally, and Overhype did this. They give me an idea of what tracks they need. So they had a pretty good idea of specifically what music was needed for different parts of the game. So they essentially give me a list of things, what track length they should be. And then we sort of talked about what you know, each of these components of the score should sound like, what it needed to do, you know, I mean, there's a lot of function, particularly in the strategy games like Menace, where, I mean, I personally you wanted to write something that was, you know, something that some people can listen to for a lot, like on loop, but not and not get tired of it so much. And it's kind of it is a challenge to do. Um, I don't know if I did it completely successfully. A lot of people are happy with it, but uh, yeah, there's various parts of the game that it's just trying to hit the vibe that they're aiming for, that and in a way that works for the game when you play it. Uh, and you sometimes stray and things change because these projects also take a long time. It's not like some film, like maybe film projects are much quicker, and you're usually working with locked picture and there's not much back and forth or scope change that's happening. Although I imagine some projects do have that. Whereas with games, things are changing. They can change, on the all time, particularly if you're brought in much earlier in the process. Where they may, like, for instance, we had factions that were originally going to be in the game that weren't there anymore or got moved much further down the line in terms of development. So things change. Actually, I think that clashes. It was stuff on loop and still not tired of it. That's good. There's you see, I try not to do this too much. I haven't done it for a couple, like a week or two now. But when the game came out, you get the reviews coming in on Steam, and I was having a look through and looking at what people were saying about the music, and it wavers between like saying no one says anything, which is fine. And a lot of people say it's fantastic. Music's, really, really great. Really enjoyed it. And then you get also the people that say it's absolute trash. It's the worst thing about the game, and it's all these things. It's hard to please everybody. It's hard to please everyone. Yeah, fair enough, Baltimore. Hmm. It's I mean, there's more games being made now than ever, so you could definitely find projects, but uh, the problem is finding a project that actually ends up being, relatively successful. That's the challenge. I think there's a lot of indie devs, doing their best, but it's such a, there's so many people in the market these days. So trying to find something that breaks through, it's, I guess, a bit of a challenge. And the better paying jobs are probably disappearing, I guess. In terms of like finding, you know, working with studios that, have longer track records, they seem to be getting swallowed up by bigger publishers, and then kind of getting shut down and getting pulled, like, the scope being becoming smaller, and I don't know. It's a strange time in the industry. I think a lot of people are really optimistic about indie games, but um, because they're untethered by a lot of these issues, and there's more gamers than ever. Like where there's more people playing games, the people out there ready to play them. Um, but it's, yeah, getting eyeballs. That's the tough stuff. I mean, and in total, like in general, like the income that I make from music has taken a while to get to this point. So it was not just like it happened. I started making music and I was making money. That's definitely not the case. And I did work, and it's, I guess this is quite hard for you all more, but I did work in, another career. I was in science for quite a while. I did start in music, and I did get a job in LA, but I ended up quitting because I hated it so much and burnt out very quickly. Um, and so I ended up, working in science for a long, long time. I did my studies, and then worked for 5 years as a postdoc doing research. And on the side, music was this sort of thing that slowly, sort of built up over time. And mostly because I gave it room to do what it needed to do for me to find the passion again, and just, you know, yeah, find the joy in writing music again. Um, Without the pressure of it having to make money. Because it is hard and it takes time. It maybe took from the start of me actually, actually actively writing for the library. It's probably taken about, 10, 12 years um, to get to a point where I was able to, quit the day job. Not that I really wanted to do that, because I was really enjoying my science job, but it's just like it also got to the point where both were competing way too much for my time, and I wasn't able to do either of them very well. So um, it was choosing one or the other. Hmm. Hmm. I think maybe I shouldn't be using the mod wheel so much. What is going on? Oh, okay. Boom, 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 boom. Hmm. Yeah, that's right, Oldemore. Yeah, it's the devs were happy with it, so that was really the brief, was to make them happy, and they were happy. So. Well, for the little while there, though, the music was in some interesting spots in in the game. So, but they've figured it out. I think everything is in the right place now. Thank you, Chico. Yeah, it's really good. I did not expect it to grow as much as it has. Um, and it's lovely. It's really lovely. So for a long time, I didn't Altimore, um, because it was really hard to figure out a way to make that work with YouTube IT, and I had years of constant issues with people claiming my music falsely. Um, but I have since started using a service that tracks Content ID. So my music is now in Content ID, and you likely will get a claim if you don't credit me. So the idea is that you can still use it freely as long as you credit me in the attribution, like credit me in the video description. So something that includes my name, and the system is smart is smart enough to see. Oh my god, that's my own. ah, the system can see when the credit's there and doesn't put a claim on, but if you don't, then you will get a claim. So it's like a way to also enforce the license a bit, which is really good. Um, so it is now, but it was only sort of when this Dutch company got in touch with a solution, because previously it was not possible. You couldn't do it at all. But before then, yes, the the sort of contribution of Patreon. So I got people who support me on Patreon, and I have yeah, the streams from Spotify and YouTube Music and all that sort of added up to a decent income that we decided that we're gonna switch anyway. Um, and leave it, sort of focus on the music as it was. Plus some of the sort of the actual additional production work I was doing. I was doing a lot of, like, still do a lot of work for Alan Becker and for Silver Screen. There was enough coming in that we could do it. So it's good. But now that I feel like the streaming, like the Spotify side of things has really picked up in the last year. It's actually more YouTube music for some reason. You folks are like big on YouTube Music. I didn't realize. But I think that's the biggest revenue stream that's increased in the last year. Hey Kenneth, how you doing? Hope you're good. Yep. Yeah. So in 2023, I left my job. I was a soil science researcher in Sweden, and we decided to come back to Australia and do the music thing full time, which is great. And also weird. I don't know. Still feel like I'm adapting, you know. Started working a clarinet sonata. Very cool. Got about a minute of music. Nice. That's fantastic. I look forward to hearing it. What software? Huaxel? Huaxel? This software is Cakewalk Sonar. So it's kind of like, you know, Cubase or Logic or whatever your thing is, except it's not. It's Cakewalk Sonar. It does the same thing. I've been using it for a very long time, so that's the reason why I use it. And I use a lot of different different libraries and synths and whatnot. A lot of stuff. Still can't figure out how to compose on stream though. Maybe we need to have a session where we can show you how I set it up. Really depending on gear though, isn't it? It's the problem. I feel like it needs to build. Maybe I don't know. What do we need? Maybe. Not doing a great job of making it feel like it rises there. I feel like we made a good start though today. I feel like this is the start of a good idea. I think we've got the makings of something here, which is always good. How many spiders have you unwanted handshake since moving over to Australia? Oh, all of them. They all know me by name now. I'm sorry, guys. If the only reason why you're not coming to Australia to hang out with us is that you're afraid of the spiders, then don't worry. The spiders are not a thing. Seriously. If you stay out of the bush, you're not really gonna find too many. You guys will be fine. That is rough, Baltimore. I'm so sorry I have to deal with this. That's not... I hate that it's still going. It's not fair. Ah, stop! Stop! Not super over this. I think next time I open this up, I'll revisit this section and sort of work on where it's going next, I think. I think you might need New Zealand, Jakar. That's where Lord of the Rings was filmed. Australia does have beautiful landscape. It's very beautiful, but not quite the same as New Zealand. New Zealand's almost, yeah, some of it's very different. Don't have those high mountains like they do in New Zealand. It's big. We do have snowy mountains, but they're not like those crazy, crazy peaks like they have in New Zealand. Indeed, Steve. Yes. What are we doing? What's that? Bit bytes. Oh, it's still going. It's horrible that you have to get used to that. There he is. It is very horrible. We will do, man. Okay, guys, I think I might call it there. I'm kind of I want to revisit this section, but I think I'm not going to do that today. I think I need to walk and take a break from this. We've made a start though, which is great. So all I ask for when you start something on stream is that it's actually a reasonable thing, you know, not an awful idea. And I don't think it's an awful idea yet, so good. We made progress. And my mood is lifted. I don't feel super stressed right now. And that was the aim. That was the aim today. But we'll get there. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you for hanging out. You like it? Thank you. That's good. Thanks for hanging out, guys. I want you all to have a good week. I'm going to be probably busy this week. Things will probably change from tomorrow. I'll have some work to do. So we'll see how it goes. But we'll try and do this next week, I think. Try and work on this track. See if we can't get it past this middle section here that I started. And try and figure out, there must be, we need like a bit of a hook, I think. Something where a destination where it's going. We need to find that. Find its character. It's got a good vibe. Got to find the story in it, I think. But until then, guys, have a good week. Stay safe. Don't do anything crazy. And I'll talk to you soon. Okay? All right. Thank you, guys. Bye.